and gentlemen, today Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented her 9th consecutive union budget and a first prepared from Kartavya Bhavan. Right at the onset, Sitharaman said that the budget is built around 3 Kartavyas or duties, meaning accelerating economic growth, building people's capabilities and ensuring inclusive development. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. At a time when India has weathered US tariffs and remains the world's fastest growing major economy, Modi Sarkar is signaling one thing: no slowdown, only scale up. Budget 2027 pushes India into the future lane. It bets big on artificial intelligence, semiconductors, rare earth corridors, deep tech and digital muscle. In an 85-minute speech, the finance minister underlined growth, jobs and long-term reforms. The bottom line, the guiding principle are reforms, not rhetoric. People, not populism. Listen in.
Since we assumed office 12 years ago, India's economic trajectory has been marked by stability, fiscal discipline, sustained growth, and moderate inflation. This is the result of conscious choices we have made, even in times heightened uncertainty and disruption. Our government, led by Honorable Prime Minister Modi, has decisively and consistently chosen action over ambivalence, reform over rhetoric, and people over populism.
This happens to be a year of 4 assembly elections, and therefore the expectations of SOPs were sky high. But Modi Sarkar did not blink. Endorsing Nirmala Sitharaman's financial blueprint, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made it clear this budget is not election-driven, it is direction-driven. Not a polio package, but a 20-year roadmap to make India the number 3 economy in the world.
ये बजट अपार अवसरों का राजमार्ग है। ये बजट वर्तमान के सपनों को साकार करता है और भारत के उज्जवल भविष्य की नींव को सशक्त करता है। ये बजट 2047 के विकसित भारत की हमारी ऊंची उड़ान का मजबूत आधार है। हम जल्द से जल्द दुनिया की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बनना चाहते हैं।
But the opposition isn't buying the 20-year vision story at all. For them, this isn't a highway to opportunity, it is a dead end. Speaking in one rehearsed chorus, they reached for the familiar toolkit of taunt. They tagged the budget directionless, missionless, visionless, a budget of a tired and retired government. They graded it 0 out of 10, branded it Khali Dabba, empty promises like Humpty Dumpty, even anti-SC, ST and OBC. The leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, initially told reporters outside Parliament to wait till tomorrow for his opinion, but moments later took to social media platform X to call the budget blind to the real crisis, one that refuses any course correction.
कुछ कहेंगे आप?
कल कहेंगे भैया,
लेकिन सर अभी
पार्लियामेंट को यूज करेंगे।
मुझे लगता है कि जब वहाँ समझ नहीं आया होगा, घर जाकर के रास्ते में किसी ने बताया होगा कि कम से कम ये कह करके हम अपने विपक्ष में होने का धर्म अदा कर सकते हैं।
With due respects, I don't know what course correction he is referring to. Economy and its fundamentals are strong. Politically, you want to criticize? You're welcome. Please do it. But if you want to give me the facts on which you're basing your argument, I'm willing to hear and willing to reply to that.
যে 3টে ফ্রেট করিডোরের কথা বলেছে, আমরা 3টে নয় 6টা করছি সারা বাংলাকে জুড়ে। কাজেই টোটালটাই মিথ্যে কথার ফুলঝুরি, হামটি ডামটি বাজেট।
एक थकी हुई रिटायर हो चुकी सरकार का बजट है, क्योंकि इनके पास पैसा नहीं है और 250 पैसा खर्च खर्च नहीं हो रहे।
कुछ भी नहीं है, खाली डब्बा है, कुछ भी नहीं है, खाली डब्बा है।
यही हाल रहा तो लोहे पर पीतल चढ़ा करके जेवर बनाने पड़ेंगे। ये समझ से बाहर बजट है, ये सपने दिखाने वाला बजट है।
ओवरऑल दिस इज जीरो बजट, जीरो साइबर। ओवरऑल दिस इज जीरो बजट, जीरो साइबर।
Did you notice something? Not one opposition leader actually bothered with numbers, not one cited data, not one quoted a fiscal detail. Instead, they chose their favorite weapon, rhetoric. As far as poll-bound states are concerned, from West Bengal to Tamil Nadu and Kerala, all cried bias, accusing the BJP of taking revenge from opposition-ruled states.
കഴിഞ്ഞ തവണത്തെ അതേ നില തന്നെയാണ് ഇത്തവണയും സ്വീകരിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇത് ഒരുതരം പകപോക്കലാണ്. കേരളത്തോട് BJP കാണിക്കുന്ന പകപോക്കൽ.
Even with the elections in mind, they have not announced anything for Tamil Nadu.
85 मिनट का स्पीच, 85 मिनट मतलब 5100 सेकंड. इस 5100 सेकंड में बंगाल का एक बार नाम तक नहीं लिया गया, एक बार भी, मतलब बंगाल मेंशन ही नहीं किया गया.
And that's where the hypocrisy is fully exposed. When SOPs are announced, they scream election budget. When SOPs are not announced, they scream anti-state budget. Heads up, they win. Tails down, the government loses. Remember Bihar last year? They cried poll bribe. Remember 2024 post-general elections when allocations went to Andhra Pradesh and Bihar? They branded it a Kursi Bachao budget. The BJP now calls it selective and compulsive criticism.
The budget seems to be like that, is planned in such a way to woo the voters for Delhi, especially the Delhi election coming on the 5th this month.
चुनाव की घड़ी है तो कहीं वही सोच कर तो चुनावी बजट पेश नहीं किया गया, और खासकर बिहार को फोरफ्रंट में लेके.
Even with the elections in mind, they have not announced anything for Tamil Nadu.
क्योंकि इनको पता है बंगाल में खर्चा भी करेंगे तो हारेंगे. So from their perspective, if you see, they have preferred not to spend any money on Bengal because they know they are going to lose the state.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the Motorola legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. Is it now time to reform India Bloc's vision? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, Member of Parliament and National Spokesperson of the BJP, Arun Nehru, Member of Parliament in the Lok Sabha representing the DMK, Anil Desai, Member of Parliament Lok Sabha of the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray Group, Tausif Rahman, National Spokesperson of the TMC. Also joining me, Priyanka Kakkar, Chief National Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Sanjay Jha, Congress leader, also joining the show. With me in the studio, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, and Rohit Azad, the economist. My first question, of course, goes to Mr. Arun Nehru. And Mr. Arun Nehru, I want to ask you, last time I heard the criticism coming for the BJP government because they made a Bihar Kursi Bachao budget. This time, it is a country's budget. It is the nation's budget, an annual budget, no specific mention of states. Now the criticism of the budget is that there is nothing for the states. I just want to ask you, does the opposition keep shifting its goalposts? Do you see nothing positive in this budget?
Madam, thank you for the opportunity from and on behalf of the people of Tamil Nadu and the great people who have elected me here. Let's just make this clear and simple. Let's not, stick to the, rhetoric as you have said, and let's just stick to certain data points here. This budget is not inspiring to the states that are contributing to the growth. This budget is punching well below its potential in the growth category because it is having more emphasis on prudence, and thus that prudence is not an asset you want at this point in time, especially in terms of global uncertainty. So those states, for example, take Tamil Nadu, will be requiring a lot more resources to continue its growth compared to other states which have other priorities, different from what Tamil Nadu has. You take education for that matter. This matter has been in focus for the last 3.5 years. So there are many schemes which are going against the grain of the Tamil people's request and the potential of states like Tamil Nadu to excel. So from that particular point of view, the point of view of social justice, which again is, if it's DMK or any other party, it's still social justice. So from social justice, education, infrastructure spending, especially in Tamil Nadu to reach its full potential, this budget is not supporting the cause of the Tamil people, who I think are fair in their request about asking the centre's support, because they also contribute to the nation's growth.
Okay. Even if I were to agree with you, give me specifics. Tell me in education, what did you want that the centre did not get? I want to ask you on social justice, what did you want that the centre did not get? What is it then in infrastructure that you wanted and the centre did not give?
So let's take education, ma'am. Thank you for bringing that up. In education, there are certain parameters which have been long held, internationally accepted too, right? So what do you do about education? Education is about, making the people to be part of the society that can contribute to nation's growth. That's the fundamental question. Now, Tamil Nadu spends more money than the central government's allocation to states' resources because that's the case from the 1970s. And what's the result of it? You have the highest graduate enrollment ratio, the GR ratio in the country. And how does the GR ratio help? You still have the largest women employed, educated women being employed in the workforce and hence contributing to the nation's growth. So how does the center can help in the last 3 years? You have seen the SSA funds which have been withheld for arbitrary reasons, which again is not a national policy, but in terms of a 3-language policy or a national education policy, which again, are circumscribing parameters that have already Tamil Nadu has achieved. So you're not asking us to go back 20 years so as to access SSA funds. So that is, you take education. Social justice. Again, no data, no specifics. Sudhanshu Trivedi, Tamil Nadu has a problem. Kerala has a problem. And of course, Bengal has a problem. Sudhanshu Trivedi ji, please respond to the charges made by Mr. Arun Nehru.
Navika ji, as far as opposition is concerned, today is the era of AI. You can make an AI prompt and I can bet you just keep it here. And next year you open after 1 year. It will be almost similar words, similar phrases, similar sentence and similar mindset. So they didn't need to apply their brain on any of the thing. They are having their prerequisite, pre-decided, predetermined prompt like an AI to oppose the budget. Now, if you look, I will give you just 2-3 examples. Since we have entered into an FTA with EU, with UAE, with Australia and other countries. So what we have done for MSMEs, when they import the thing and within 6 months they have to export, in that case the entire custom duty is exempted. Now that limit has been increased to 1 year. So this has given a very flexible and appropriate time for MSME to get advantage of these free trade deals. Second thing I would like to remind, in infrastructure, it is consistently, Modi government is increasing the capital, just capex. It is now 12.5 lakh crore rupees. 1 rupee in infrastructure contributes 3 rupees in economy. On the other hand, 1 rupee you give for person for personal purposes, it contributes 95 paisa in the economy. So this will have definitely a long-term effect. Third thing, if you remember just a couple of years back, 2 years back, the automobile industry has suddenly got shut down because the China has stopped giving the semiconductor chips. And there is a problem created in the industry. So in order to have a long-term vision, the critical mineral mission has been, critical mineral corridor has been launched. semiconductor mission has been launched, so that, and now the chip is becoming so important, it is not for mobile, for cars, for refrigerator, for ACs, for each and everything it is being used. So India should become gradually self-sufficient in this, keeping these long-term perspectives. Third thing, if you look, in the electronic manufacturing, in the pharma hub, because health sector is becoming gradually important and specific also. Today, person expects a specific treatment. For that, you need a massive infrastructure so that a person can be cured according to. So we have 10,000 crores for pharma hub. So I think there have been numerous initiatives which is from this high-speed railway corridors from Bengal to Gujarat, and whether it is from Varanasi to Havda, those things are going on. But one thing is very clear, that this budget is showing a far-sightedness in this present turbulent world, so that India could stand firm in the times to come and become an advantageous in the present crisis, in the present time in the world. So I think emphasizing on the infrastructure and giving emphasis to the futuristic technology and the emerging sectors, empowering MSMEs and empowering our, you can say, very new area like Ayurvedic medicines. In the pharmaceutical sector, FDA, the Federal Drug Administration, has done so much of research that we cannot match up them even for 20, 30, 40 years. But if we are able to produce a quality product, and that will be an alternative paradigm shift for the curative medicine industry. So 3 new Ayurvedic universities, emphasis on the tourism, and tourism, that too on the domestic tourism, wellness tourism. I think if somebody is able to understand, this is a very, you can say, a very far-reaching impact for the future, a very vivid vision, a multifaceted vision that was very much required for this reform express has been become from unilateral to multidimensional in order to ensure the Viksit Bharat target as soon as possible, as early as possible, with ensuring inclusive development for everybody.
Well, Tawseefur Rahman obviously not very impressed. And Mamta Banerjee, I mean, I was totally flabbergasted when I first heard her reaction. You know what she says? I thought it was almost poetry. Directionless, visionless, missionless, actionless. The budget is anti-poor, anti-youth, anti-farmer, anti-women. And then she said it is a Humpty Dumpty budget. Tawseefur Rahman, ये Humpty Dumpty budget क्या होता है?
Navika ji, good evening and good evening to all my fellow panelists. And you being a true friend, Navika ji, at least आपने तो याद किया हमें. 85 minutes तो किसी ने याद नहीं किया. But thank you so much. At least you called me and we are speaking.
I always call you. My problem is the other way around. I get boycotted. I always invite all parties. It was the India Alliance which boycotted me. So please, the shoe is always on the other foot.
You're a true friend, ma'am. Anyways, so I was hearing Sudhanshu Trivedi ji also. He gave such a good budget assessment, and I felt that कि मैं उनके बात पे कुछ भरोसा करूं. But again, हकीकत नहीं. The union budget of 2026 and 2027 presented by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is an anti-woman, again I repeat myself, anti-poor, anti-farmer and anti-SC, ST, OBC budget that has derailed the economy and exposed the BJP government.
Visionless, directionless, actionless.
No, I will not go there. It's okay. Didi already said that. But this whole thing is disconnect from the ground realities, Navika ji. I mean, within hours of the budget presented, the market fell sharply with Sensex dropping by 100,000 points. Nifty falling by 25,000, proving that even investors have rejected this Humpty Dumpty budget built on jugglery of word with no substance. आप कहिए ना झूठ बोल रहा हूँ आपको. And for Bengal, the BJP government has given nothing except an empty announcement that are either already in process or ideas stolen from Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee 2009, tenure as Union Minister. They have not given Bengal a single rupee. You ask me the statistic, Navika ji, I'm waiting. क्या चाहिए हमें? You will ask this now कि आपको चाहिए क्या?
अच्छा, आप चाहते हैं मैं आपकी स्क्रिप्ट पे चलाऊं डिबेट शो? आप स्क्रिप्ट देंगे और मैं वही सवाल पूछूंगी, ऐसे नहीं होता है ना तौसीफ भाई, ऐसे नहीं होता है तौसीफ भाई। बट you've raised questions. I want to ask Sudhanshu Trivedi. Sudhanshu Trivedi ji, when the stock markets go up, they say, oh, they made a corporate friendly budget and that's why they are only happy if the markets go up. This time the markets have gone down, so they are using that against you. When you announced during the Bihar elections, lots of package and schemes for Bihar, they said, kursi bachao aandolan chal raha hai aapka. This time you have not done a election-oriented budget. They are saying nothing for the election-bound state. Chit bhi meri, pat bhi meri, Sudhanshu Trivedi.
Actually, why the stock market has fluctuated today? The reason is government has put a type of additional tax on the future trading, because whenever the stock market has crashed, the common man has lost a lot of money, but institutional investors managed to save, rather than some of the institutional investors even managed to make some money also, because there are certain people we just put, for example, you just put a stake 100 rupee and do a trading of 10,000 rupees for 1 week. For that, the tax has been increased from 10 to 15%. But as far as the common investor is concerned, they doesn't play in 1 week. They doesn't play in forward trading. They just invest for a long term and get a benefit. So I think this is being done by government to resist the volatility of the Indian market in the giving present situation of the world, and also to protect the interest of the common small investors. So I think this is just a course correction which will settle down in a couple of days. और अगर एक लाइन में कहूं, शेयर मार्केट में होने वाली सट्टेबाजी के ऊपर ही थोड़ा सा अटैक हुआ है। नॉर्मल निवेशक, सामान्य निवेशक के निवेश के ऊपर इसका कोई प्रभाव नहीं पड़ने वाला है। यानी जो शेयर मार्केट में फ्यूचर ट्रेडिंग करके एक प्रकार से उसमें एक सट्टेबाजी जैसा गेम खेला जाता था, उस कारण से समस्या, इस कारण से बहुत से लोगों ने विड्रॉ किया होगा। यह बात प्रॉपरली समझनी चाहिए। बट वन थिंग, फ्यूचर के लिए इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इक्विपमेंट्स के लिए 40,000 करोड़ रुपीस का इन्वेस्टमेंट, यानी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक चिप एंड सेमीकंडक्टर, that's how India can become self-sufficient in the times to come. He was talking about SC/ST. Sir, for scheduled caste, 1.68 lakh crore was the previous budget. This time it is 1.96 lakh. How you are saying, sir, it is a budget has been... Sir,
the stock market is your price, sir.
And whether it is the fishery industries or whether it is being given the incentives for the MSMEs, definitely those sections will be benefited indirectly also. But direct, I have given a statistical data also.
Well, Sanjay Jha.
The stock market, Navika ji, please.
Okay.
The stock, Sudhanshu ji, I'm just asking you, the stock market, which is supposedly the pride of BJP, rejects the budget so decisively and crashes immediately after the finance minister's speech. So it exposes the hollowness of their economy policies. Investors, economists and the market have given their verdict. आप इसमें समझाइए हमें. This budget offers nothing for growth, employment,
can they have it both
stability.
ways? Can they have it both ways? When the stock markets go up, they say it's a corporate India budget. When the stock market comes down, they say, "Arey, this was BJP stock market, and now they have only rejected BJP's budget." You know, hey, Humpty Dumpty है ना ये? Humpty Dumpty.
What is there for the BPL, below poverty line की कुछ नहीं कहते ये लोग. आप बोलिए ना below poverty line के लिए क्या है? What is there for us?
All right, you are not below the poverty line. You are doing
no, but we have to cater to the people as well.
Okay.
They do us. उनको समझ में नहीं आता fiscal क्या होता है.
मेरे भाई below poverty line वाला कम से कम स्टॉक मार्केट में तो इन्वेस्ट नहीं करता, सो एटलीस्ट एक चिंता मैं आपकी दूर कर दूं. बट आनंद रंगनाथन,
पहली बात जो ये शीश महल में रह के कह रहे हैं गरीबों के लिए क्या किया, पिछले 11 साल में मैं आप गिनाना नहीं चाहता वॉट एवर हैज बीन डन, but 260 million people, Indians, have been pulled out of abject poverty in the last 11 years. I don't want to talk about the other welfare schemes. So for somebody to say that the Modi government has not done for the poor people, in fact, my grouse is that it should have done as much as it has done for the poor people, for the corporates, for the people who want to run this country, the private players, which it hasn't. That is my grouse. So he is totally wrong, but I don't want to use the word senseless, but for him to say 100,000 points come ho gaya, 25,000 points come ho gaya, bhai ye nahi hua hai. 1500. Please,
that's not senseless.
Now, please, Tausif, 1 second. Please, unfair. Please give me. You've been speaking for 7 minutes. Please. Firstly, Sudhanshu ji is absolutely right. The stock market has gone down drastically, you can say, because of the STT increase. And he's also right about that it is affecting only the futures and options. And because of speculation, because 93%, this is the SEBI data I'm giving you, 93% of those who indulged in FNO speculation lost money, retail traders. So this has been done on the direction. It is not on someone's whim that this action has been taken. This has been taken as a matter of policy. So the markets will stabilize because nobody likes, especially on stocks and futures, to be taxed. And that is the reason why the stock market has tanked. Now let me come to the other point, Navika. Give me a minute, because what do we expect from a budget? We expect a roadmap, but I think it would be foolhardy for us to expect a roadmap till 2047 from budgets. Budgets don't do that. As it is, there is very little room for maneuverability for Ms. Sitharaman. I mean, most of it would go, the money that is earned goes in interest payments, giving to states, by the way, and so many, incidentally,
salary
please ask
bills.
the salary bills, so many other things, PSU, 20% of your budget is going in propping up the PSUs. At the end of the day, what you're looking for is that in the last 5 years, something remarkable has happened, and I think the Prime Minister alluded to that. He said, we are at a takeoff, inflection point. He insinuated that. Truly we are. We have pried open the gates for, you can say, a room of prosperity. We've entered that. The question is, can we go in there and reap the benefits? For that, because we've entered a market, we need our people, our companies to be competitive. And what we expect is reforms. What has happened is restructuring. Now, if you give me 30 seconds, I'll explain to you the nitty-gritty. When you want reforms, it is not that you're looking at some incentives that are given to, one tadba jise kehte hain. What you're looking for is to make your workforce healthier, wealthier, wiser, more adaptable, more flexible, to be given to the people who would use that workforce. What do I mean by that?
So how many years
this is very unfair. I did not interrupt
you. Need more?
So
it's the third term of Narendra Modi. How many years do you need more, sir? You are using such words for reforms. Kab hoga reformation? Kab hoga transformation?
No, 1 second.
Changes?
When Modi,
Navika,
can I please?
Let me at least
finish.
Well, in which case, Tausif Bhai, Tausif Bhai, in Bengal, how many terms have you been there? 3, 4?
Third term? Okay, I can show you my report card.
So please tell me how much industry, how much employment has been generated in West Bengal?
I am ready to bring my report card in front of you.
यहाँ बोलो ना report card.
Report card क्या है? How much investment and how much investment has Bengal got? Please don't tell me MOUs. Tell me investments on the ground.
Let me finish because he interrupted me.
I am talking about the Gram Manrega, Gram Awas Yojana project.
Okay, 1 minute. On Manrega itself. Well, Manrega has been called Ji Ram Ji. Tausif Bhai, I know there are elections in Bengal, but not only Bengal makes all of India. There are other states, and I need to get in other.
He interrupted me for 30 seconds. At least 30.
Okay, I'll give you 10.
10 में क्या होगा?
15.
अच्छा. Basically, what Rahul Gandhi said about dead economy in the short term is totally wrong. But it could be right if we follow the path of Mamata Di and Rahul Gandhi. Because they are against reforms, they are against privatization, they are against the farm laws.
We are with the people of India, we are with the people of Bengal.
What is this, yaar? Please, this is not
a galat baat bol ke jayenge.
But Tausif, last I heard the Constitution allowed freedom of expression and speech and allow Anand Ranganathan to exercise that. You've been allowed to exercise it as well.
Not in Bengal. If I were to forward a cartoon of Mamata Di, Tausif would be the one sent to arrest me. But anyway, let me finish. The promises that Modi has did fulfill, were not in the BJP manifesto. Almost verbatim, the farm laws were in the Congress, TMC and AAP manifesto.
Sanjay
he
Jha,
fulfilled your promises and you reneged. You should be ashamed.
Well, Sanjay Jha, please respond. Do you support the direction of the budget? Do you see the bright spots, the fact that it's not populist despite the pressure of elections, the fact that it sticks to the basic agenda of empowering infrastructure, empowering the growth sectors, but at the same time maintaining fiscal discipline? एक बार कह दो, अच्छा है budget?
I wish I could, Navika, but I like to speak the truth. And the truth is that this government is living in denial, and it continues to be, shall we say, occupying very precious real estate in a fool's paradise, which it has a right to, frankly speaking, do a limitless purchase of. Let's look at a couple of hard points. You and I both know, and I think I'm sure a lot of the panelists do as well, that if India was really on a very high trajectory, the rupee would not be on a free fall. The rupee is being propped up through the RBI interventions. We may have foreign exchange reserves, but the truth is that the rupee has been the worst performing Asian currency. Can we ignore it? I mean, for the record, let me tell your viewers, Navika, that we have actually performed even worse against Pakistan rupee. That's going to hurt these hyper nationalists on the show. Pakistan's rupee has done better than the Indian rupee over the last 1 year. The point which I want to really mention at this point is, I remember Geeta Gopinath was asked in Davos about the impact of tariff and various other challenges that India has. And she said something that we ignore. You know, it's the elephant in the room, the basics. She said, do you realize that you're probably being hurt much more in India for ignoring your AQI? For the pollution that is going to drive away businesses and foreign investment. And Anand has been with me right since morning, and he's talked about FDI, etc. Anand, let me tell you that the FDI in manufacturing has gone down. Net FDI in this country has gone down. And as somebody who's been a student of economics and has worked in a bank, I can tell you one thing: foreign direct investment chases a market where they see potential returns. If they don't, they're not going to come there because they're emotionally invested in our country. Which brings me to the last 2 points before the others come in. I worry about the fact that India's statistical integrity is being repeatedly questioned, not just by the IMF, but by everybody across the board. I have read a Reuters poll, and the Reuters poll of very independent economists pointed out something very disturbing. They said India's employment figure, you know, this demographic dividend which this government has destroyed through its Pakora economic strategy, they now call street vendors as employed, by the way. Here is the truth. 70% of the economists said that India's unemployment is probably in the range of anywhere between 7% to as high as 25%. I'm not going to.
Yes, all right, 25%. Are you increasing all? Are you actually counting all the candidates of the Congress party that applied and did not win elections? Yes.
Navika,
in that case, the unemployment rate could be 25% and maybe higher.
Navika,
but Sudhanshu Trivedi ji, now AQI problem should be sorted through the budget. Markets should be sorted through the budget. Unemployment should be sorted through the budget. Everything that the Congress didn't do in its time should be done by the BJP, and the BJP has been in power for 3 terms through bad economics and wrong statistics. Please respond.
UPA gave us 7.8% growth over 10 years. This government has given 5.9%.
Problem of unemployment, but it is not in that much in the public. It is there in the opposition parties, because Rahul Gandhi ji is the consistently remain politically unemployed, empty-minded and frustrated youth leader of 55 years since around 11 years. But one thing is very much attached to the heart of our opponents, that is FDI. You know what is the full form of FDI for them? Foreign direct infiltrators. Because they consider them as the capital. On the basis of that capital, they want to build up their political empire. Like our friend from TMC was asking, yes, definitely. Openly they have pleaded, supported, overtly and covertly both. Now coming to the budget. As Mr. Sanjay Jha was saying, if Indian economy is in such a bad position just depending upon the dollar, that's why the EU people are foolish that they are saying it is the mother of all the deals. The British Prime Minister Keith Starmer has said that they have brought the biggest ever business delegation by any British Prime Minister overseas. Nordic countries, UAE, Australia,
What
New
has
Zealand,
India got?
they have done FTA with India. But
what are we going to get from that?
We are running 100
Back to
billion.
the matter is, we are the only country which is facing 50% tariff in the world. So that is just America specific. Because America is facing itself a problem. And I challenge Sanjay Jhaji. Last year in US Congress, there was a discussion for de-dollarization. I challenge you, for last 100 years, any time there was a discussion in US Congress for de-dollarization, and Trump has threatened that the
Navika,
country
let
should
me
not
answer
go for
Sudhanshu.
de-dollarization. China has removed its US Treasury bond from 84% to 45%. India has also withdrawn.
Navika, I have a right to rejoinder,
We are
please.
doing
I know-
free trade with
I
which
know
country?
everybody has
like
rights.
Russia, like Germany, and Israel, and New Zealand, and there are 22 countries with whom this trade is going on. तो भाई मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहता हूं, ये तो just because of the tariff, the FIRs are taking out, and America is also trying to protect its dollar. So because of this 50% tariff, this is situation just specific to America. All of the world is responding positively. But unfortunately, again I will say, the empty-minded, hollowness, lopsided, prejudiced mindset of opposition is unable to see the truth.
Well, let me get in Anil Desai ji. 1 minute. I know everybody has a right to speak, but so does Mr. Anil Desai. And I have a duty to go to all my panelists. Priyanka Kakkar ji, coming to you as well. Anil Desai ji. Anil Desai ji, is it always, because, you know, I've covered so many budgets, at least 20 years, Times Now has completed yesterday. I've done about 35 budgets on Times Now, interim budgets and post-election budgets included. Every time, whoever is in the opposition says it's a directionless, visionless budget. It has nothing for the common man, nothing for the poor of this country. It is almost a statement that is made before even the budget is presented. The same thing is being repeated today as well. Does the opposition see no positive, no silver lining in the budget presented by Nirmala Sitharaman ji?
I think anticipating the negative dialogues which were to come after the presentation of budget, Nirmala Sitharaman ji, while presenting the budget at the outset only, she said this is not rhetoric, this is reality. This is not, I mean, we are not, the practical, these things are being put in this budget, and the roadmap which is being shown, or whatever she is presenting, that's a way Viksit Bharat and Atmanirbhar Bharat will be making its way. So in the beginning what she said, but it's a fact, though I mean I'm also from the opposition. See, roadmap, drawing a roadmap and showing a way, and whatever progress has been made till now, I mean that has been shown, that has been realized, that has been felt by the people of India. I think better this thing would be that
winds of change, winds of change, winds of change. Sudhanshu ji, ये आपके पास तो नहीं आ रहे हैं.
Expected that review. No, I'm not. Review should have been done by the finance minister, thinking that, Navika, let me complete. I mean, don't go for conjectures, whatever you think. What I'm saying is, today what is being presented, what have they presented, what have they, see, there was a presentation where it was mentioned by the Honorable Prime Minister that farmers' income would be doubled. Today, where are we? Today, things which have come in short, that coconut promotion will be there, cashews will be there, sandalwood will be there, farm products, whatever credit lines were opened in 2014 onwards, especially if you go by 2019 onwards, a lot of impetus was given for the agriculture and all. What is the situation? What about the Pradhan Mantri Safal Bima Yojana? Time and again on the floor of the House opposition, and even it was agreed by the Treasury benches also, that improvements need to be brought there. What is the situation on the ground? We know actually. Today go by what banking, public sector banking, it's a good thing which was announced by restructuring. 98% of the villages in India, there is a network of public sector banks. Okay, if it is there, then what is the situation, what is happening in the banks? How many times, I mean, the capital.
Do you expect a micro level analysis at the stage of a budget presentation?
No.
Are you expecting the finance minister to lay down, pick up the annual reports of each of these banks and look at those? And if you have a problem, you have a parliament that is functioning. But Rohit Azad, do you expect the finance minister to go into the micro details of every single public sector bank? Is that fair?
I am not saying that. I am saying going by what she has presented. What is the situation of employment in public sector? What is the situation of why contract workers? What is gig economy? Where the people are going? You are saying on one side that whatever periodic labor force survey which is coming up, what picture does it show? What is the employment?
Well, all of these reports are published. I really don't get it, Rohit Azad. The problem is everybody comes up with a general criticism, but extremely low on specifics. Data that are presented. Now Anil Desai ji, I'll have to get in Rohit Azad as well. We have limited time on the show.
So I'm not a politician, I'm an economist, so I'll speak on data and macro data, because for politicians both sides would do the same. Government will never criticize itself and opposition will never praise the government. So it's obvious. It's the same for Sudhanshu ji, it's the same for the opposition as well. So I won't put one against the other. They are doing their own job. But coming to data, and I think that's very important because we are discussing budget. What you compare in any budget, let's say that you've made certain promises, then you look at how the result has been. Any report card is like that, right? So I've just looked at those numbers. If you give me 5 minutes, I've not spoken
5 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes. Less than that actually. 5 is just a rhetorical 5 minutes. Expenditure on capital, so the capex which we were talking about, there has been a decline of 25,000 crores from the promise that was made in the budget. This is what I'm comparing, the promise which was made last budget and the actual which is spent, capex. Okay. Not only that, on agriculture the fall is 6,985. This is all budget document. On education it's 6,701 crores. On health it's 3,686. On rural development 53,067 crores. On urban development 39,573. Very broad macro figures. Result is always based on what you've promised, and against that, what have you delivered? Now, the question is, why has it happened? And it has happened because of two reasons. One, your tax collection, what you had thought it would be, it did not come out to be true, particularly on income taxes. So the big reform that they offered, they expected the tax buoyancy to be very high. It did not turn out to be true. So when your tax revenue goes up and you want to maintain your fiscal deficit, you have to cut down your expenditure. It is that which needs to be discussed. These are concrete numbers. I have not invented any single number in this.
Concrete numbers, but I have covered the finance ministry for decades and decades, and I know the January, February, March quarter of usage and the utilization certificates coming back is a lag which keeps getting corrected till May when the final numbers really go in. Are we reading too much into it? We'll have to wait and watch. But let me get in Priyanka Kakkarji. Priyanka Kakkarji, it can't be that the opposition can find not one good thing in the budget. I think somewhere we are always having our political glasses on and never looking at the big picture, the big story, the big direction, which is what budgets actually should be all about. It's not about the micro level. It is about the big picture, the direction the economy is taking.
Okay, then in that case, Navika ji, I will not speak about the fact that the national education policy speaks about strongly recommends a 6% spend of the GDP on education, and the budget for education has been cut by about 7,000 crores, because that may not be a bigger picture for you. I will speak about the fact that if we aim to have a Viksit Bharat by 2047, then we also, I will also not speak about the small fact that the IMF has given us a C grade to the kind of numbers.
The IMF has also given us, the tag of the fastest growing major economy, but that you will ignore. You will only look at the problems with the numbers.
No, I am saying let's forget the small things. Let's forget the small things. Education is a small thing, health sector is a small thing, agriculture is a small thing. Let's ignore all of this and let's look at the bigger picture, because in 2047 we are projected to become a Viksit economy, and by 2047 US, which is currently about 700 times in terms of GDP ahead of us, and say China, which is about 400 times ahead of us, I cannot accept that they will stay stagnant. Now they will keep having more patents and they will keep having a better education and they will keep having more innovations. That, to me, Navika ji, is lacking in this budget as well. It is lacking to me because although the finance minister repeatedly used the word AI, but in all the essential sectors I saw that the expenditure, the spending has been cut and drastically cut. So I do not see how we reach there. I still do not see how you will promote, say, manufacturing now, because you promised a Make in India. Let's not question the deliverables, because that will be small, I think. Let's not question the deliverables in the smart city or the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or the drinking Jal Jeevan mission, which again the budget has seen a slash, big slash. We will not talk about that, because if people are dying in Indore, it's a very small issue, right? So we will talk about bigger things as you suggest. So in that case, what has the government now done to ensure that the manufacturing, which has hovered around at the same number since 14 or pre-14, it has not seen any improvement. So I don't see anything that the government has done in this budget also to give it a push. None,
okay.
Absolutely none.
Anand Ranganathan,
from all the
would you want to respond to the charges made by Priyanka Kakkarji?
No, look, I'm just like Priyanka ji, I'm also the one to always need more money for health, for education, for medicine, for everything. I need more money that the government must spend. Of course I do. But the point is, unlike them, unlike the hypocrites, I want that money to be generated by the government. That can only happen through reforms, through privatization, through farm laws, which they do not want. They just want money to spend it. Now, my good friend Mr. Azad talks about tax. Now, he's always having a rate, for example, something to GDP ratio. वो ये नहीं बताएंगे कि it's been tax to GDP ratio is the highest ever at 18.5%. For example, you have my good friend talking about pollution. Geeta Gopinath saying that pollution is affecting GDP. Of course, nobody wants pollution. I'm the first one, especially as a scientist, to want pollution to be, of course, tackled. It's another problem that no political party has the will to tackle it. But the same people would not say, including Geeta Gopinath, that when pollution in China was the highest, its growth was also highest. 14.5% was the GDP growth of China during its highest pollution period. How do you explain that? So let's not talk about, you talked about directionless, aimless. Let's not be senseless.
Well, I don't know. Whichever way I look at it, the fact is, if you look at the budget from the opposition lens, it is visionless, actionless, directionless. If you look at it from the government side, they've given a direction, and it is a consolidation budget, not a big headline budget. I don't know who's looking at what, but one thing for certain that I can say is, when they put out a populist election-looking budget like they did before the Bihar elections, they were slammed for making an election budget. This time they have been more conservative. They've not gone in for the populism. They've kept straight and narrow to the fiscal discipline route. The criticism is not done anything for elections. Do these states not matter? That really is the hypocrisy of politics every time we look at something as basic, a document as the budget, which should actually be devoid of politics, looking only at one figure and one direction, which is how to make India grow by multiplier times. What we see in return? Well, Humpty Dumpty budget, Khali Dabba budget, blind budget, and लोहे के ऊपर पीतल चढ़ाने वाला budget. Well, that's it for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on the Newshour tonight. With that, it's a wrap. Good night, be safe. I'll be back tomorrow on the Newshour at 9.